Hello from Diplomatic Language Services, and welcome to our podcast, Language Matters. We make language accessible to everyday people by discussing features which may not exist in other languages. I'm your host, Molly Sampson. Hello, and welcome to Language Matters. I'm your host, Molly Sampson, and I'm here with two native Thai speakers. I have Pim with me. Pim, sawadee ka.
สวัสดีค่ะ
That's hello in Thai.
Yes, that's hello in Thai because I use ka. Usually man will use krap at the end, so it will be สวัสดีครับ instead of สวัสดีค่ะ
So I always say sawadee ka.
Correct.
Sawadee ka. Suicha.
สวัสดีค่ะคุณมอลลี่
So both Suicha and Pim have taught Thai to native English speakers, so are good resources for interesting things about the language. So first, I think we're going to talk about the script a little bit. So tell me a little bit how your writing system works.
Well, the Thai script is very scary for second language learner because we don't use Roman script. So we have our own script, which consists of 44 consonants and 21 vowels.
Right, and we also have 5 tones, which convert to 4 tone marks. And we have a little bunch of characters here and there to shorten the sentence or to repeat the words or
To silence the sound.
To silence the sound.
Okay, let's get further into that, but first, it is phonetic, right?
Right.
Right.
Okay, so every symbol represents a sound.
Yes.
Almost every symbol represents a sound.
Right.
And then, from what I understand, you have some other symbols that don't have sounds exactly, but they have more of a meaning.
Right. Yes.
Can you talk? You said there's only 4 of them?
No, 4 is a tone mark.
Oh, 4 is the tone. Okay.
Right, because we have 5 tones.
5 tone.
And each words have their own tone.
Okay.
If you mispronounce the tone, you convey the different message.
So let's say I have a letter. You have something and it has a tone associated with it. Is it only the vowel that have tones or the consonants also?
Yeah, actually you combine, you have a consonant combined with vowels.
Always.
Always.
Okay.
Vowel is the most important part to create Thai words.
Okay.
And when you combine consonant with vowel, and sometimes you have final consonant, and you put the tone marks on top, it changes the sound, the tone, and also the meaning.
Okay. So can you give me an example of the 5 tones?
So we have the word ma, which is to come. If you put the tone in a different way, for example, ma, it becomes a dog.
That is rising tone.
Okay.
And for example, the word ya is medicine. If you put a tone ya, that could be grass or grandmother.
Okay. Could you do the 5 tones in a row?
Yes. It would be like the word that she just mentioned, ma, is mid-tone, right, to come. For 5 tone together will be ma, 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 ma.
Right.
Would you like to try?
Not really. Okay. But you have, say it again.
Ma, 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 ma.
Can you hear the
I
different
can
tone?
sort of hear the difference.
Right.
I'm not going to spend too much time pronouncing it. I can sort of hear, but it must be very, very hard for learners.
Yeah,
Right.
because they
Yeah.
always say that there's no different for me.
Yeah. And we had also talked about this a little bit in the Chinese tones too, and we were using, I think, the example of ma. Anyway, so I think, Pim, you also mentioned these marker things.
Right.
How many of those things do you have?
Could be around 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not like super sure how many because we do have those.
Right, and some of them are not used
I
often.
see. I
Right,
see.
right.
What are the most common ones?
So the most common one is to a mark to repeat the same words, and that we use the most because we kind of want to emphasize the word, like it's the weather is hot or it's very very hot. So we repeat the word hot twice
Okay.
to make it like the other person knows like, oh, it's really hot.
Okay, so you'd say the weather is hot.
Yes.
And instead of repeating hot, you'd put a little symbol next to hot
Right.
to say repeat that word.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, that's really interesting. So to say very, you kind of repeat the word.
That's one way.
That's one way.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Interesting. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the regions in Thailand. Is Thai is only spoken in Thailand, or there are kind of Thai populations in other countries that recognize it as, no one else recognizes it a national language, do they?
I don't think so. I think we only use Thai in Thailand. Yeah.
Okay. Diaspora as well, but
Right. The
because you're
closest
here.
right. The closest language used a similar text, similar grammar is Lao.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But I think they have their own tone mark.
Yes. And their script are not as, complicated as ours.
I see. So can you understand Lao?
Well, me personally, my mom is from the northeastern region, and she speak the dialect, so I can understand. And I have a couple of friends from Laos that they taught me, so I can read.
Okay. So you've been more exposed to it.
Yes.
Right. For me, not quite. Yeah.
But if you're listening to Chinese versus Lao, you might pick up more in Lao.
Right. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you mentioned your mom's from the northeast.
East.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit of how the regional variations in Thai work? How different is the language across the country?
Right, because for Thai that we teach, students are focused in the middle part of Thailand, and that is the most common language. But we do have 3 other dialects: the north, the northeast, and the south.
Okay.
And those are the same grammar, but we switch words here and there, and tone is also different.
Oh, okay.
So
when you say you switch words here and there, you mean you use a different word,
Right.
in a different
Right.
region?
right, yes.
Yes.
For me, because I'm from the north, and we pronounce words a little slower, a little softer, but compared to the south, they pronounce the word harsher, and they pronounce the word faster. So it's going to be very difficult for me to understand the southern
It's the
language.
opposite of the U.S., where the north is fast and the south is slow.
Yeah, right.
Because Southerners speak a little bit more
Right.
slowly.
Right, yeah.
Well, I think the different dialect come from the lifestyle of people who live in
Okay.
each region. I'm originally born in Bangkok, but moved to the north, and the geography of the northern region is more like mountainous, river. Their lifestyle is pretty slow.
I see,
The
I
weather
see.
is so nice. So they're like Kim just said that they speak very softly. On the other hand, people from the south, like they have like strong sun close to the beach, and they tend to have that lifestyle that faster, more active.
I see. I see. But can you understand Southerners?
Oh, hard for me.
Yeah, hard for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
The closest that I can feel like it's easier for me is the northeast.
I see.
Yeah.
So is there one standard? So when you teach Thai, which kind of variation is it closest to? Is it sort of like Bangkok?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thai?
Yes.
Bangkok Thai. Yes.
It's like Cantonese, Mandarin, and all these different part in China, but they use Mandarin as a whole. We use Thai that is
Bangkok.
as a whole.
I see. Well, Cantonese and Mandarin are a little bit different, but
Right. Yeah.
but Mandarin is regional.
Right.
Okay. So when you teach Thai, or I guess, do you generally use your accent when you teach Thai, or do you kind of change your accent, or can you switch between your variation versus sort of the more standard Bangkok?
Right. So I don't think that we use northern accent at all, or I hope not.
I personally can't speak Thai with a northern accent.
I see.
I can't. So I stick with I understand, but I stick with my Bangkok accent.
Right.
So I don't think we will never speak to each other.
But you grew up in the north, so you picked that up in
yes,
school.
and friends, and my mom can, my brother can, so I learn
see.
from them,
I
but
see.
I don't.
I see.
Yeah. I don't think we have accent.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I won't be the judge. Okay, so we talked a lot about tones already. So tell me a little bit about the grammar structure. What do native English speakers find so difficult about Thai within the grammar system?
Well, I think we touched on this a little bit. Of course, the first thing that creates frustration and difficulty is tone.
Right.
Because second language learner, especially from the countries that have no tone, they have difficulty to differentiate the tone. And believe it or not, most of the languages I mean, most of the Thai words that second language learner pronounce wrong turn into bad words.
Oh, you mean like profanity,
Right.
Yes.
or something?
Yes.
Oh.
They have to be cautious and be careful because when the tone change, the meaning change, and most of the time change into
Bad
not
words.
bad words, not polite words.
I see. I see. That's a dangerous thing.
Yes.
But aside from tone, your grammar is fairly straightforward as far as tenses or.
We use similar grammar to English, but we put the time in front so that we kind of know what happened because we don't conjugate the verb and we don't have any, male or female words or anything like that. Everything is neutral.
I see. So there's no gender
Right.
No gender, right? No conjugation.
and no conjugation.
Right.
So, but you do have a past tense.
We do have a past tense, but it's the same as present tense. We just put the time.
The time marker.
Marker.
Oh, so it's not really a different tense. You just say, yesterday I go to the store
Yes.
versus today I go to the store.
Yes.
But it's important to put the time marker.
Right.
I see. And do you do subject, verb, object?
Yes.
That's your structure. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to learn Thai. So, and then the other thing, I think, talking about modern words or cognates or borrowed words, I guess, not really cognates, but words that come from either English or other influential languages that you have in the region.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about how you deal with those in Thai?
We don't really have a pronunciation because, we borrow words from others. Also, in terms of writing, we can write whatever we want.
We have no specific rules about, borrow words.
Right.
About the spelling.
Spelling, yes.
Right. And sometimes people pronounce things differently, some words. I feel like modern or new generation, they want to pronounce it as close as English as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, but, like local Thai, they still cannot pronounce the word R, correctly, or like the buzzing sound, the V sound, the B sound, because we don't have that.
it.
Oh, okay. Can you give me a couple examples of what those words are?
So for the name of the person, like when you say Victor, we say Victor.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's softer. We don't have the V sound.
Right.
So, and we put tone in everything.
Yeah.
For example, Starbucks, right? The correct tone, we just put our own tone, which is become Starbucks.
Starbucks. It depends. Like they're wherever they're from, whatever they want to pronounce.
Right.
So it's hard to hear and it's also hard to read.
I see.
Yeah.
So, are there a lot of borrowed words that come in?
More like proper name like Starbucks or computer. Yeah, lots.
Right. McDonald or
How do you pronounce McDonald's?
well, I would pronounce McDonald,
No, I pronounce McDonald.
which is different. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, why would you? It's just what it was called in your town, or how did you decide that's what you wanted to call McDonald's?
Depends on the exposure the first time, I think.
I see.
Because I don't know, I pronounce McDonald.
Yeah, I mean, because sometimes it's just like make it fun. Like, let's go to McDonald's. Just make it fun. Make
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we don't really have a rule.
We have no rules about cognates.
Yeah.
I see. Well, the final thing we're going to talk about is maybe a proverb or an idiom that you think is interesting for English speakers. Maybe something that has interesting cultural significance or something that is would sound strange to an English speaker.
Can we pause?
Yes, can we I think one idiom, one expression that comes to me that when students try to say, I mean, American people before they leave, they say, "Have a good day, have a good weekend." We don't really say that for when you say goodbye. We just say "Sawadee," right?
Which
Or,
is hello.
Hi, hello.
Okay.
Right.
We also say what, Pim?
โชคดี which is good luck.
Good luck.
Okay.
Or the word เจอกัน which means see you
See
later.
you later.
Okay. So there's no like bye bye or
Right. Because the word
bye bye.
ลาก่อน which is an actual translation is goodbye. It's actually say like, I don't want to see
see
you
you
again.
anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So we don't want to use that.
Right.
I
Right.
see.
Yeah.
I see. So goodbye is like
Yeah.
kind
for
of get
good.
away,
Yeah.
go away.
That's
oh,
right.
That's interesting.
So,
okay.
Yes.
So you say good luck,
luck.
which was
โชคดี
chok di.
Yes. Or we can say สวัสดีค่ะ at the end too.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, chok di. Pim, chok di. Suicha,
ขอบคุณค่ะ โชคดีค่ะ
โชคดีค่ะ
thank you for joining us.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Language Matters. To our listeners, you can continue the conversation by tweeting us at diplomaticls, or you can find us on Facebook by searching for Diplomatic Language Services.